So some of you might know I've recently had one of these camping gas adapters, and I've had a bit of an issue with it. So I just wanted to go through that today. I was hoping to use my other camera to do that so we could get some better close-ups, but I can't find the cable. So we'll make do with the poor quality camera on my laptop and try and go through this. So basically this is an adapter for a camping gas bottle. I brought this from a company online selling through eBay, but a UK-based conversion company. Brought it as part of a kit with a pressure regulator, and there was the pigtail to connect the bottle to the regulator, or the this adapter to the regulator, and also the copper pipe needed to connect to the stove. So one of the first things I did was I opened this kit, and I wanted to check that this went onto the bottle. So I screwed it into the bottle, seemed to go on okay, and I took it back off again, and when I took it off, there was gas coming out all over the place, like totally uncontrolled, venting of gas out of this cylinder. I put it over to one side and left it there, let it vent off. The cylinder obviously got very cold, just didn't want to be anywhere near that uncontrolled venting. And when I went back to the cylinder after it had finished, I found a very small piece of brass in the ball valve of that here. It's a bit hard to see in the picture, but you can see there's something just trapped keeping the ball valve open. I did manage to hold the bottle upside down and get that brass out with just pressing the ball valve in with a pin. But it didn't seem to seal properly after that, and the small amount of pressure that was still coming out of the bottle did continue to come out. So I contacted the company about this, inspected the threads here, and the threads look very poor quality. I'll try and get some close-ups of these and see if we can cut those in. So some people have commented that the gas bottle's past its best, and that the threads are knackered, and that the around the edge is rusty. And admittedly, that bottle is not in peak condition, but that's fundamentally not the issue here. That bottle works perfectly well with the proper camping gas regulator that I have, that goes onto a standard rubber hose, and the screw cap has always been on the top, and that has no problem at all. That clips in fine, and you'll see much worse condition bottles than that handed out and refilled at some places. The bottle obviously now is just about empty, and well, it is empty. So I won't be using that bottle again. In the picture, I removed the rubber seal that should be there so that I could see what was going on. I didn't understand why it was venting off, so I just popped the rubber seal off so that I could see that. That gas bottle is going to have to go back and be exchanged, and when I do that, I will make sure that the people that are taking that know that it's not operational. I don't know if Camping Gas take them apart and service them and check them out properly, or whether they just fill them up. But yeah, that bottle really shouldn't be used by anyone now. So yeah, if you think that the threads are dirty, there is some grime and discoloration there, but there's no rust in those threads, and there's no loose debris either. The piece of debris you can see in the ball valve is definitely very clean, very clear, very shiny piece of brass. Now, the company involved was insistent that I'd cross-threaded this, and that the camping gas adapters are a reverse thread, a left-hand thread. They did agree to send me a new one as a gesture of goodwill, but they were insistent that it was my fault. I requested before they send a new one out that they check it for quality. They didn't make any reference that they would do that, and based on what I'd received, I'd assume that they haven't. So where we're now is I've got a replacement adapter that's got really poor manufacturing quality on it. We'll do some close-ups of that as well. And I've gone back to the company and advised that they consider inspecting their entire stock and rejecting these back to the manufacturers as unfit for purpose. In my view, they're dangerous. But what I really wanted to do here was just highlight this to people, highlight the the power of research. You know, these people are claiming to be professionals in the field and know what they're talking about, making sweeping statements about my competency and what I've done without actually doing any due diligence or research themselves. So it's very easy to find out how things should be made, what they should look like, whether things are left or right-hand threads. There's a world of information out there. Don't take things at face value. Ask questions. I use groups a lot on Facebook. I use them for advice and opinion, but I always go off and validate that. So if someone's presenting something as opinion of, I like this, it works well for me, I've always found it to be very good and high quality, and that's really valuable information. But if they're saying facts, figures, numbers, specifics, any kind of thing that's not opinion, check it. It's very easy to go and check it, and it's key to do that. In this instance, I've got a professional company telling me that this is a left-hand thread. Now, I know it's not a left-hand thread, but I didn't know whether camping gas ever produced left-hand threads. But a quick Google search demonstrates that UK companies, Calagas and all UK gas bottles seem to have a left-hand thread. So this side is a left-hand thread because this is going to the pigtail that's designed for a UK bottle. But this side is a right-hand thread, and it's very hard to cross-thread a thread into a right-hand thread into a left-hand thread. You simply cannot force it in there. Cross-threading is where you put it in at an angle and you try to force it in at the wrong angle. If you put a thing into the wrong thread and force it, it won't go. So let's go through in detail about what I found about these, and I'll try and get some close-ups. I'm probably not going to be able to do it in this, but maybe I can do it from my phone, and I'll insert those here, and I'll try and talk about them. But what we've basically got is the brass thread has been cut into this casting. This piece has been cast in brass, and then this thread has been cut in, and this channel has been milled at the end. And I assume this inner diameter has been drilled and the outer diameter has been machined back. But what they've not done is they've not cleaned this up. So after that processing on a lathe or a mill, what they have not then done is cleaned this up. So those edges of the threads and of the channel they've milled in the end here should have then been cleaned up with something like a file or a wire brush or something to remove the chips. And that's the process that's been missed off these. So the important lessons to learn from this, I mean, I should have checked this before I installed it onto my bottle. The lessons to learn from this are check the quality of pieces that arrive. Make sure you do your research. Do not take anything at face value from somebody claiming to be a professional. And if in doubt, ask for advice. So we're at a situation now where I've fed back to the company about what's going on with these. Hopefully they'll take that seriously and do something about it. I don't want to be in a situation where somebody else has this unpleasantness happen to them. You know, a half-full bottle of gas venting itself isn't pleasant. I mean, it didn't cause any major issues, but it was an unpleasant experience. So hopefully they'll rectify this. They'll go back to the manufacturers and they'll make sure none of these are shipped out to anyone else. Anyone else should be checking this kind of thing, looking for rough edges, and making sure that they understand. If they aren't in a position to understand what is good quality and what is acceptable, then worth considering asking a professional to do that for them. Obviously, do your research though, because just because someone's charging money for it doesn't mean they know better than you. I hope this has been useful to some people. I apologise if the photos don't do it justice. I am highly considering swapping to a Calagas bottle so that I do not have to use this piece of equipment. the Calagas bottles have a valve built in, and they take this spline here. This becomes redundant. That would make me feel more comfortable. I think Calagas is also cheaper. The downside is if you go to Europe, Calagas is not very available compared to the camping gas. My next step now will be to clean this up myself, to remove all these burrs and flashings and to remove any more loose threads. I feel quite comfortable doing that. That's not a problem. You may not feel comfortable doing it. So if any problems like this, return it to the company, demand a refund, and find a better quality one. These ones are made in Italy. I was expecting to see a made in China logo on there, but I think it just goes to show that the quality control is the key with these kind of things, not where it's manufactured. And I'm afraid the quality control in this instance was lacking somewhat. So yeah, let's hope that the company involved, the suppliers, I mean, it's not their piece, they just supplied it to me. Let's hope that they take this up with the manufacturers and make sure that they don't personally supply any more of these to anybody without rectifying this issue first. And stay safe, really. Yeah, if this is the first video you've seen, I've been converting Ford Transit Custom to suit my own needs. So yeah, if you want to have a look at any of those videos, that would be great, and let me know what you think. And always, any advice, any comments, much appreciated. Yeah, thanks for watching.